how did the Fantastic Four end up on the planet of the apes? The issue opens with a glorious shot of Uatu the Watcher looking down on Earth, basically preparing us for something huge. His narration makes a big point. Even he has never witnessed a crossover like this before, because in all Marvel history, the Fantastic Four have never crossed paths with the planet of the apes. And then we cut to a courtroom. The Fantastic Four are literally on trial, with one of the judges saying, "Reed, Susan, Benjamin, and Jonathan, you have been charged with the most serious of crimes, heresy. Your punishment, should this tribunal find you guilty, is death." Now, if you're not familiar with the Planet of the Apes universe, here's the quick rundown. The story takes place on Earth in the distant future, where human civilization destroyed itself in a nuclear war. Over the next 2000 years, apes evolved and rebuilt society, religion, science, laws, courts, schools, the whole system. Chimpanzees become the scientists, orangutans run the politics and religion, and gorillas serve as the military. Meanwhile, humans regressed. Most lost the ability to speak and became primitive. By this point, no living ape has ever even seen a talking human, until they run into two astronauts, Taylor and Brent, who left on a space mission and came back to Earth 2000 years in the future because of relativistic time dilation. And according to simian law, the order of the world is absolute. Apes are superior, humans are beasts. But the leadership likely knows the truth that ape civilization was built on the ruins of a once advanced human world. So on every level, a speaking human is dangerous. To their society, it's chaos. And under their law, which to them was no different from religion, it's a heresy. Let's jump back to the trial, where we meet Doctor Zira and Doctor Cornelius. Unlike the other apes, they are genuinely curious. They actually care about truth and discovery, not just tradition. Zira is a psychiatrist, a behavioral scientist who studies humans, and Cornelius is archaeologist. And in general, chimpanzees in this society are portrayed as more open-minded guys. You can hear it in their dialogue. They are not angry or afraid, they are worried about what the court is about to do. To them, a talking human is not a threat, it is the greatest scientific discovery imaginable. I mean, think about it. If we, nerds, suddenly found proof another intelligent civilization exists, we'd be dying of curiosity trying to learn everything about it. Next, from Johnny, we find out the Fantastic Four don't have their powers anymore. Then we meet the gorilla, General Ursus, and yeah, gorillas are the hot-headed ones here. They don't care about trials or diplomacy. To them, if something looks like a threat, you put it down immediately. Like here, General Ursus saying, "This pathetic farce of a trial merely delays the inevitable. Ape City demands justice." And justice basically means executing the Fantastic Four. Now, the next page has one of my favorite panels here. Just look at this. The smartest man alive, Reed Richards, standing there watching two apes calmly talk things out. The contrast is honestly great. Oh, and by the way, I'm not discriminating against the apes here. And right here we are introduced to Doctor Zaius. He's an orangutan who serves as both the Minister of Science and the main religious authority of the Ape Society. Like many of the elders, he probably understands humans were once the dominant species on Earth. So basically, he represents leadership that protects stability over truth. So next, Sue asks if they can speak in their own defense, and Dr. Zaius responds, "In your own defense? A human speaking at all is remarkable, let alone one speaking so eloquently." And she's like, "I'll pretend that's a compliment." And here, Zira steps in and says, "You'd be surprised what humans are capable of when they are not being enslaved." And this is an interesting moment from Zira. Since this is an alternate reality Earth, we don't really know what experiences the apes have had with humans before this, and that raises a lot of questions, and we'll come back to it later, so stay tuned. Eventually, the assembly allows the Fantastic Four to speak, and then Dr. Zaius says, "You may speak, but please do so quickly." The crowd's favor suggests there is little time for mediation. And what caught my attention is the word mediation. In legal terms, mediation is a voluntary, confidential, and structured alternative dispute resolution process where a neutral third-party mediator facilitates negotiation between disputing parties to reach a mutually acceptable settlement without a trial. So, how are we supposed to read this sentence? One interpretation is that the Fantastic Four, because they are human and especially because they are talking humans, aren't really treated as a side with rights. sense. They are almost a third object in the conflict while the real argument is happening inside Ape Society. In that sense, Zaius using the word mediation feels less legal and more political. Or it could simply mean a calm discussion. Zaius realizing this is the last chance for rational dialogue before the crowd pushes things toward execution. As she starts explaining what happened and where they came from, Johnny jumps in and just blurts out, "Look, we are heroes, not thieves. We are the Fantastic Four." But Doctor Zaius basically responds that they still don't know what they really are. He accuses Dr. Zira of creating them as some kind of forbidden experiment and asks why they keep insisting they are something else. Meanwhile, another member of the assembly questions them about how and why they came from another world, and Johnny responds, "Only yesterday we were home in New York City where things are much different," and Reed immediately tries to stop him. He already knows exactly where this is going, but Johnny says it anyway. But to be fair, the apes were trying to kill us there too, and I totally get Reed's facepalm moment here, because telling the apes that back on your own planet apes were also trying to kill you? Yeah, not the smartest move. So for comic readers, we immediately recognize Johnny's referring to the Red Ghost. So here we get a recap showing what happened before they arrived here. But before that, quick context. The Red Ghost is a Soviet scientist, Ivan Kragov, who trained a team of super-apes. He actually gave both himself and the apes powers by intentionally recreating the Fantastic Four's origin, exposing them to cosmic rays on purpose. In our story, the Red Ghost and his super-apes break into the Baxter building. His target is Reed's device, the Quantum Stabilizer, which Red Ghost explains can enable interdimensional and interchronal travel. So yeah, this device is basically what brought them to the planet of the apes. But the Red Ghost never meant to send the Fantastic Four there. When Reed asks where he plans to go, he answers, "The empire that birthed me no longer exists." He clearly talking about the Soviet Union here. "Perhaps I can rebuild it somewhere else." So he intended to use the machine himself. Instead, the Fantastic Four get pulled in by accident. Alright, back to the trial. Dr. Zaius asks Reed a pretty interesting question here. Honestly, the kind only an ape would ask. And so, what became of these super apes you assaulted in this explosion? Do forgive us if I missed a detail. But from his perspective it makes sense, because he's defending his own species. Johnny starts babbling, and you can almost see everyone realizing it was a bad idea to even bring up super apes. And then Ben tries to smooth things over. Don't listen to him, he was out cold the whole time. That gorilla really cleaned his clock. Do you guys have clocks out here? And this panel works perfectly. Ben and Ursus staring each other down, two warriors recognizing the same attitude in each other. Then comes the moment I've been waiting for. Reed Richards finally speaks up. "Forgive my family, Doctor. Whatever was to happen to Red Ghost and his allies had instead befallen us. Whether they remain in the Baxter building on our world is currently unknown. But the fact is, we came here against our will, lost and powerless." I mean, short, clear, straight to the point. And at the same time, on one side we have Cornelius, fascinated by the idea of a human world full of intelligent beings with advanced abilities. On the other side is a worried Zira, who basically says this kind of advancement won't end well here. After that, we got a flashback showing how they arrived on this planet. From looking at Ben, we can tell they had already lost their powers the moment they appeared. And Reed theorizes the cosmic energies from the explosion neutralized their powers. And soon after, the apes show up hunting humans. From the movie lore, we know they do this both for scientific research and, disturbingly, for sports. And the funny part, the Fantastic Four assume this is the Red Ghost doing. Without their powers, they struggle to fight back. Apes are physically stronger than normal humans, and when Ben threatens one of them, the ape panics after seeing a human talk and runs away. On the next page, Sue finally says what everyone's been thinking. Did you see that? They rode horses and spoke English. Thank you, because Taylor and Brent never really questioned that part. Why are these freaking creatures speaking English? So moments later, the Gorrilas return with the reinforcements and eventually capture them. Then we get a notable exchange between two Gorrilas. Shall we send them to the prison? No, General Ursus will want to inspect the humans first. Another human talking. What do you think it means? Let the ape assembly tell us what it means. Now this raises a big question. Another? Who was the talking human they encountered before? Are they referring to Taylor and Brent from the films? In Marvel continuity, that actually fits. Marvel published Planet of the Apes comics back in the 70s that roughly followed the movie events, with the comic storyline itself taking place on the Earth 7481 reality. If this story shares the same reality, it would mean the apes already met Taylor and Brent just before Taylor eventually destroys the planet with the nuclear bomb. As they are taken into Ape City, you can see they are completely freaked out just looking around at an entire civilization run by apes. Now back at the trial, Reed finishes explaining how they arrived and what actually happened to them, and Doctor Zaius, being Doctor Zaius, immediately dodges the point and sarcastically asks, "So, your defense is ignorance?" And Reed responds, "To your customs, your laws, allow us the chance to make things right and to return to our own planet in peace. I vow that we will never cross your path again, Doctor." The assembly begins whispering among themselves, discussing the verdict, and on the next page Dr. Zaius delivers it. "What you have spoken of this day defies explanation and the natural order. Do you share a delusion, or are you conspiring to sway the judgment of your crimes against ape kind? In any case, we find this so-called Fantastic Four guilty." Pretty much what we expected, right? But then starts the freak show. Suddenly, Dr. Zaius grunts and transforms into the Thing. Cornelius tries to help, but his arm stretches like Mr. Fantastic. Zira turns invisible, gaining Sue's powers, and General Ursus bursts into flames, becoming the Human Torch. Or, I guess, the Ape Torch? Anyway, the Fantastic Four's powers have somehow transferred into the apes, and honestly, that's such a cool twist. Then, the story cuts to Castle Doom, where we see the Red Ghost kneeling before Doctor Doom. There is little time to waste. We must repair the device at once, or I'll lose track of that world forever. Aid me, and together we can rule the cosmos. Finally, a union worthy of our grand intellects. And Doom dismisses him on the spot. He's like, "No, what could you possibly offer the glorious nation of Latveria in exchange for repairing your stolen technology? I have stripped Reed Richards and his family of their abilities and stranded them in a world overrun with apes. Certainly you can do something with that, can you not?" From this, it seems Red Ghost only figured out the Fantastic Four lost their powers through deduction. I mean, he's still a capable scientist, but there's no way he could have known for certain at that moment. And on the next page, we see Doctor Doom is interested. Is he going to side with Red Ghost? I don't know, let's see and wait for the next issue, which is called the Ape Fantastic Four, and this name is actually quite hilarious. So, my fellow variants, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and drop your expectations for this run down in the comments. See you on the next one.